All right, everything appears to be in order, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just make sure I'm good on my own good on my own volume levels. Yep, everything's good. All right, let's go ahead and get started with this real quick. Yeah, we're good now. So, yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another My Hero Academia reaction and review. We are off from break, and now we get to find out what happened when Shigaraki, I guess, exploded, right, with Stars and Stripe. So, we get to find out what happened. So, let's go ahead and get started. Why am I'm thinking about One Piece still. Chapter 331, United States of America. Now, in the last chapter, Shigaraki was thinking about his home that he grew up in, and then there was just an explosion of light that just happened point blank where Stars and Stripe was right in front of it. It explodes in her face, and she gets thrown back as this massive explosion happens, thinking with her saying, "Did his hair just grow? What's going on with this guy?" And then it shows her apparently landing on one of the bombers that is still airborne in the air. No, not just her. Not her. Shigaraki has landed on one of the bombers, with him saying, "Now I get how New Order works. It may be supreme, but it's still constrained by rules of its own." And then we get narration of just who Star and Stripes actually is. The USA's #1 hero, Star and Stripe, the government strictly oversees her quirk. The particulars of how it works are highly classified, though the public gets the gist, based on her visible heroics. She touches a target, says its name, and assigns her rule of choice. A jaw-dropping, unreasonable power that makes the world her plaything, and one that practically redefines what a quirk can be. But I've learned, oh wait, this is Shigaraki saying it. And also his voice has changed as well, so he's no longer this guy that used to play video games all the time. Now he's gotten a grasp on his powers. And this is Shigaraki doing this narration. The USA's #1 hero, Star and Stripe. The government strictly oversees her quirk. The particulars of how it works are highly classified, though the public gets the gist based on her visible heroics. She touches a target, says its name, and assigns her rule of choice. A jaw-dropping, unreasonable quirk that makes the world her plaything, and one that practically redefines what a quirk can be. But I've learned quite a bit from our battles so far. There's a lot of narration for these next few panels, I'm sorry. As far as powering up a living physical body goes, there's a hard limit. Otherwise, she would have tried to kill me right from the start by crushing my head with pure power. On the other hand, there's no limit to how much a rule can incapacitate someone. With her counting back to when she said his heart will stop. One can think of it as a barometer with an upper cap, a gauge she can set at will, I suppose. However, judging from the fact that she didn't say if he touches the air within the set range he dies, one assumed that the new rule cannot arbitrarily involve things she hasn't touched, just through roundabout wording. Or perhaps she could make such a rule, but maybe it would be less effective. Still, look at the earlier lasers and vacuum. She boasts an impressive degree of freedom when it comes to non-living things. Apparently, therein lies New Order's true utility. The difference in efficiency between rules for living and not... This dude is going full Midoriya with this whole analysis right now. The difference in efficiency between rules for living and non-living things must have to do with the process of naming the target. Her new rule for me didn't take hold because her understanding doesn't quite mesh with reality. When Miss Star touched me, she believed me to be Tomura Shigaraki. But even my understanding of myself is hazy. Am I Shigaraki? Or All for One? Or Shimura even? When calling the name of a target with a sense of self, Miss Star's understanding of the target's identity must align with its own. See, I talked about this earlier when when this happened to Shigaraki, but he broke free of one of her rules because All for One took over. If the person she's speaking to isn't even sure of themselves of being who she calls their name out to be, then I guess her quirk doesn't really work on them. When calling the name of a target with a sense of self, Miss Star's understanding of the target's identity must align with its own. For targets without a sense of self, her one-sided understanding is enough to enforce the new rule. Only 2 targets at once, I suppose? And what's her effective range? Would it work if she called my dog Mon by his name Mon? What's gotten into me all of a sudden? This irresistible urge to test out her rules. I've never been so on edge. And then Star is speaking to herself. He must have a way to get around attacks that hamper his breathing. And then one of the pilots says, "What now, Star? New order and concentrated laser fire did just about nothing to that regenerating scumbag." And then Star says, "Send word to Commander Agpar." "For real? Bad enough we ran off half-cocked without their say-so. You're not really thinking that we oughta... If not now, then when should I exercise my special authority? This punk's graduated from being Japan's local menace. Now he's a threat to the world. We gotta use tactics that Japan lacks to make him dead. Now!" And she blows a kiss at him, saying, "Just try to give me a place to plant my feet until arrival, okay, boys?" And then the guys is all like, "Aw, heck." And then it shows Star in regular clothes, and she's massive. But unlike Abby from The Last of Us Part 2, she actually still looks natural, even with all that muscle she has on herself. "Starting today, you boys are under my wing. When we die together, brothers." And the pilot is just thinking back to when Star just first said that to them when she first met them. "Our number one sure does ask the world of us. Hey, Wedge! Shake that raggedy lowlife off your top side. That's Star's perch. Copy that." And then the guy just flips over. But her pilot says, "Our number one sure does ask the world of us. Sure does ask the world of us. Hey, Wedge, shake that raggedy lowlife off your top side. That's Star's perch." Family was asking me, letting me know that they were heading out and they were going to grab me some food later. Copy that. And then the guy flips and causes Shigaraki to fall off. But the flying Nomu that's there with him catches him. And then Star says, I told you that knowing what I'm about wouldn't help you fight back. This is what I meant. The air forms into my shape, but 1,000 times bigger. Fist bump to the earth. And then she causes the very air itself to take her shape. But since it's air, it's invisible. She makes a version of herself appear in the clouds that's 1,000 times bigger than herself. Fist bump to the earth. And then Shigaraki thinks, nothing's visible there, but I got a nasty feeling. And Star punches. Star herself punches and causes the air version of herself to punch too. She just took Sanjin Komamura's Bankai ability from Bleach, Kokujo Tengen Myo, and just went full on, just went beyond that. She did exactly what Sanjin Komamura did in Bleach, but created an air version of herself that's 1,000 times bigger and has pretty much is able to cause it to mimic her actions, and it punches towards Shigaraki so fiercely that it causes the very clouds themselves to move from the force of her punch. and it sends both the Nomu and Shigaraki. Yo, Star is OP! It sends Nomu and Shigaraki flying off, and then she starts to bring her hands down, with her thinking, taking any more damage is pointless, and he'd never answer if I asked for his real name. So the only way to get rid of this guy is bussing him down to atoms. And she claps her hands, and when she claps her hands, the clouds part all the way down to the sea. It's like the same explosion that happened when Shigaraki's hair got longer and turned all white. The same thing happens when she claps her hands. The clouds themselves just part from her power. And Shigaraki, due to the fact that he cannot see this air version of Star, he gets crushed by her clapping her hands. It's like Netero using a 100 Guan Yu 100 type Guan Yu Bodhisattva. I can't remember the exact name. And he gets clapped by this attack. And then she screams out, "But you're a tough nut to crack. Bros, give me a taste of those lasers." And all the lasers from the stealth bombers that she's been riding on this whole time, they all shoot at her. And then she comes up with a brand new rule. The lasers combine into one. Yo, and she is able to use... and she grabs the laser. United Hypermax Output Laser. Yo, not only is she taking moves from Sanjin Komamura from Bleach, she's also taking a move from Ulquiorra as well. This United Hypermax Output Laser is like a Lanza del Relámpago. She takes the lasers as they all converge into one, and it becomes a tangible object that the air version of herself can grab as she prepares to stab it into Shigaraki. And she stabs it in the direction of Shigaraki. No, not in the direction. She stabs it directly onto Shigaraki. And the move is called Keraunos. And she stabs this laser that she's grabbed with the air version of herself directly onto Shigaraki. And it just buries him into the ocean. And it still shows him getting hit by this attack. A non-stop blast of the max laser? He'll burn away to nothing, yeah? I doubt it. This is just keeping him pinned down. And it shows Shigaraki just pinned by this laser spear that she's created. If this were enough, then Endeavor could have finished that job. And then someone calls to Star. Star. Agpar, sir. And the guy is just standing there. And the guy is just standing there saying, I'm so accustomed to your independent ways that I got careless. This stunt will lose you more than just your license. Fine by me. Well, are things ready on your end yet? Wow! This Akbar dude actually almost has a head shape that's just like Admiral Akbar! He's Admiral Akbar! Admiral Akbar is in My Hero Academia. I'm so accustomed to your independent ways that I got careless. This stunt will lose you more than just your license. Fine by me. Well, are things ready on your end yet? Sure. A special favor just this once. And Japan's been informed that the strike is imminent. That's what I wanted to hear. The fact is, your flagrant defiance from the rules really has made our nation shine all the brighter. All Might himself couldn't put a proper end to this villain. Prepare to surpass him, Casey. Their name is Tiamat. Make sure every last one hits the mark. State-of-the-art hypersonic intercontinental cruise missiles. Did they just send nukes? They just sent cruise missiles from the US over to Japan. And Star is meant to injure Shigaraki with these? Wait, hold on. See, my knowledge of military weapons is not exactly the best. It's not exactly the best, so I have to look up. What exactly is a cruise missile? And I really hope this doesn't put me on no list just because I want to look up what a cruise missile is. Okay. A cruise missile is a guided missile used against terrestrial targets that remains in the atmosphere and flies the major portion of its flight path at approximately constant speed. Cruise missiles are designed to deliver a large warhead over long distances with high precision. Modern cruise missiles are capable of traveling at supersonic, high subsonic, or hypersonic speeds are self-navigating, are able to fly on a non-ballistic, extremely low altitude trajectory. So, deployment. The most common mission for cruise missiles is to attack relatively high-value targets such as ships, command bunkers, bridges, and dams. So, there are regular versions and there are nuclear warhead versions. I wouldn't be surprised if the warheads that are on these cruise missiles are nuclear. But all of these missiles that are... all these cruise missiles that are heading from the US right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they have nuclear warheads embedded in them. And there's a lot. In this panel, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cruise missiles heading in right now. What a chapter. And that's to be continued. That's the end of the chapter. But we see here that Shigaraki is having a Midoriya moment where he's learning about Star and Stripes quirk, New Order quirk, and he's kind of slowly learning how it works and how he's able to circumnavigate it a little bit. But Star shows that she's able to take her ability to a much higher degree, where she causes a giant air version of herself. And the thing is, it's an air version, which means it's invisible. We can see it on the panel because it makes out her shape for us to visually see. But to everyone else, no one else can see it, but I guess Star can see it as well. But no one else can see it. Shigaraki can't even see it, and it's able to mimic her movements. Fist bump to the earth, and she just motions. And then the air version of herself punches in a direction that just sends both the Nomu that Shigaraki is on and himself flying into the distance. And then she claps her hands, and the claps is literally able to, just the clap of her hands and the air version of it just crushes Shigaraki and parts the clouds that they're on top of right now, which is crazy. This whole chapter is just great. It shows, even though Star and Stripes' quirk she's not able to give herself the same strength that a user of One For All is capable of doing. This quirk is beyond insane. It is crazy. She's able to make an air version of herself that's 1,000 times bigger than she is, and is able to mimic her movements like Kokujo Tengen Myo from Bleach. And not only that, but she's able to use another rule that makes it so that she can take the lasers that are shot at her by her own crew, that she ordered, of course, and they all converge into a literal laser spear that's basically Lanza del Relampago from Ulquiorra, and use it to stab it into Shigaraki and just bury him into the ocean to keep him pinned until the Tiamat and cruise missiles that the US just sent all converge and hit him. Star and Stripe is immensely powerful. Now, hold on. Let me pull up Star and Stripe, and let me pull up her New Order quirk as well. And hopefully they got it described in here. Pro Hero, New Order. Alright, so fist bump to the earth. Star and Stripe grabs the air and creates a construct of herself out of it 1,000 times her own size. The construct mimics her every move, allowing her to deliver supersized blows to her opponent. And then we have this one move called Keranos. After creating a giant construct of herself, Star and Stripe uses it to gather the lasers of her accompany fighter jets to create a giant lance of energy. Literally Lanza del Relampago. She then raises her arms and stabs the lance into her opponent, simultaneously piercing and burning them. That is what Star and Stripe is capable of doing. This is what the New Order quirk is capable of doing. Good lord. Even though it has the limitations of only being able to affect two things at once, she's crazy strong. She's crazy strong with this quirk. It's insane. Oh my goodness. She's like one of the most powerful heroes we've seen in this entire story. So the big takeaway is, because I could go through everything that Shigaraki said about him trying to learn about her quirk, because that's literally what most of these pages take up. It takes up 2.5 panels of Shigaraki just mentally explaining how her quirk works and how he can circumnavigate it. And then it has Star and Stripe coming up with the idea that, hey, we need to get the United States in on this. So send word to Commander Agpar, play on words of Admiral Akbar from Star Wars, to send over some cruise missiles. Then we see Star outside of her superhero uniform, and we see her in her regular civvy outfit, but she's still just massively muscular. Not in a disgusting way. She's still attractive, even when she has all that muscles on her. She is still just as attractive, even with all that muscles. So she's what Abby could have looked like if they didn't make her look so roided out and just plain in The Last of Us Part 2. But overall, this was a good chapter. Now, this is definitely going to be shorter than my One Piece stream that I got done with, and that was 2 hours long. But good chapter. We saw more Stars and Stripes quirk, and she just went overboard and just showed us just how powerful she can really be, and we haven't even seen the full extent. I feel like when you are able to make a air version of yourself that cannot be seen by anyone but you, and it's able to mimic your movements, and it's super huge, and it's able to literally move the clouds with its own movements because that's how much strength you have, and even clap its hands and part the clouds, I feel like you are on some OP level My Hero Academia foolishness right now. And then you got cruise missiles coming in from the US with Admiral Agpar coming in saying, hey, make sure every single one of them hits their mark. So these could be cruise missiles that have nuclear warheads on them that I'm guessing Star is going to make sure hits Shigaraki completely. But so far, we're just seeing more. I thought her being able to bend light. Was something, but her being able to bend light and then cause air to just disappear in front of her was something, but her creating a giant version of air version of herself that can mimic her movements and she can grab onto light with this air version and turn it into a giant lance of light that can pierce and burn people at the exact same time? What can't she do? This was a good chapter, but I'm not going to keep you guys here any longer than I already have. These My Hero Academia streams tend to go a lot shorter than my One Piece. Only reason why One Piece went as long as it did, because I had to do reflections due to today being the last day of October, and I always do reflections where did that accent come from? Always do reflections on One Piece stuff at the end of each month. But this My Hero Academia chapter, oh, this was a good one. Did it get me out of my seat? No, but I was still majorly hyped because it was still crazy. Seeing more of what Star can do. And this fight between her and Shigaraki, I don't think it's even reached the penultimate moment yet. So I'm anxious to see how things go with Star and Stripe. Now, some people are saying like, oh, Star and Stripe is going to die fighting Shigaraki. And then they say like, it's just a theory and stuff. I highly doubt that Star is going to die interacting with Shigaraki in this way. We'll just have to see how the story goes from here. But overall, Star and Stripe is just surpassing any thoughts I had that she had with her New Order quirk. and just showing us that, like, hey, this isn't even my final form. So overall, good chapter. That's all I can really say to it. I enjoyed it. Especially for today, considering the last chapter of One Piece that we just got today. These are some good chapters, especially a good chapter to come out of break from. You could just make an air version of yourself 1,000 times bigger that can mimic your movements, and then you can steal a move from Ukiura, and then just use your own personal Lanza del Relampago, and it's just like crazy. This is why I love manga so much. Oh my goodness, I love manga so much. It's so good. But I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna keep you here any longer than I already have because I gotta get started and record my reaction to the newest One Piece episode, then get that uploaded for you, and then there's still things I need to do today. But this was a great chapter, and I enjoyed every single second of it. So, sorry if I'm seeming like I'm just ending it all right now. It's just that the majority of this chapter was pretty much Star fighting Shigaraki, and Shigaraki having a Midoriya moment where he was just overanalyzing her abilities to the highest degree. I have never seen Shigaraki talk this much. If that's even Shigaraki speaking right now. He just covered 2 whole pages and nothing but text, just analyzing her ability. Just nothing but him just speaking. Never seen Shigaraki talk that much. But it goes to show you that whoever this individual is, whether it's Shigaraki or All For One, or neither, or someone completely new, yeah, whoever this entity is. Far different from Shigaraki, and far different from All For One, and yet at the same time, kind of the same. Kind of both of them at the same time. So we'll have to see where the story for My Hero Academia goes next week, because we're not going on break from this, and we're not going on break from One Piece, though One Piece, I believe, is releasing on a Monday for some reason. So looking forward to that. But that's all I got for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. I really do hope you all enjoyed my little reaction here to My Hero Academia. And, yeah. That's all I got with this chapter. There's not much else I can say that hasn't already been said already. Just hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.